Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. कीर्तन की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। हरि हरि बोल।
हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। थैंक यू प्रभु।
थैंक यू।
Hari Parshad Prabhu, you are there on the line. Who is Hari C? Hari Parshad Prabhu, are you on the line? No. Who is Hari C? Can someone identify Hari C on this? Is that Hari Charan Prabhu?
Looks like that, Prabhu.
Okay.
No, Prabhu.
Hari Parshad Prabhu, you joined? Someone joined right now. So let's give 2 more minutes.
Prabhuji, I'm trying to reach out to him. I'm calling parallelly, Prabhuji.
Okay. Someone sing Hare Krishna for 2 more minutes, please. Just chant or Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram,
Who is joining in a few minutes? Please continue.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Parshad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My prayer.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Bol.
Yes. So
Go ahead, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
yeah. Thank you all for joining this evening Sunday program from ICNJ. Today we have a special speaker live from India, His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu. His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu is a disciple of His Holiness Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj, accomplished Sanskrit scholar, studied Ashtadhyayi and completed translation of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Manashiksha. He is a member of ISKCON's Shastrik Advisory Committee, also serving as an assistant editor of famous Gopalji publications. As you may already know, Gopalji Publications publishes Sri Krishna Karnamrita Bindu magazines and other devotional books. So Prabhuji is an assistant editor of these Gopalji Publications. He also writes articles for Srila Prabhupada's one of the first initiatives, Back to Godhead. Let us all welcome him with loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol!
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Not able to see you, Prabhu. Hari Parshad Prabhu.
He's there, Prabhu. Can you see him? Yeah, he's in one of the videos. Okay. Thank you, Hari Parshad Prabhu, for accepting our request to enlighten us this evening. The mic is yours. Hare Krishna. Please welcome.
Thank you, Hari Kishore Prabhu. Thank you, Madhupati Prabhu. Thank you, all the devotees, wonderful devotees at ISKCON Central New Jersey, for kindly inviting me to speak something here on the topic of experiencing separation from Krishna. So, our Shishta Parampara, our practice established by the previous acharyas, is to begin every talk with Mangalacharan. So, dear devotees, I will also begin this talk with Mangalacharan, and I will share my screen with all of you. So, and we'll begin this talk, our current talk, today's talk, with Mangalacharan. So, I'll chant these verses. Most of us already know these verses, so you can chant along with me. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So thank you very much once again, dear devotees, for kindly inviting me here to speak something about this topic of experiencing separation from Krishna. So it is very important that we not only understand separation from Krishna in theory, but it should also be important for us to experience it, because spiritual life is anubhavatmak. Anubhavatmak means it has to be experienced practically by us in order to relish it. So this particular presentation is focused on, first and foremost, giving out the theory for separation from Krishna, and also we should also have some hands-on experience of what it is to experience separation from Krishna. But before we begin, I'll start with a quote from His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has something very important to say about separation, worship in separation. Srila Prabhupada says worship in separation is considered by the Gaudiya Madhva Sampradaya to be the topmost level of devotional service. According to this conception, the devotee thinks of himself as very poor and neglected by the Lord. Thus he addresses the Lord as Deen, Dayardra Nath, as did Madhavendra Puri. Such an ecstatic feeling is the highest form of devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada very clearly says that worship in separation is considered by our sampradaya to be the topmost level of devotional service. So Viraha Bhakti, Viraha Bhajan is considered by our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya to be the topmost level of bhakti. And such a mood was being displayed by the devotee named Sri Madhavendra Puri. So since Sri Madhavendra Puri was displaying this mood of devotional service, therefore he is considered to be one of the topmost devotees in our line to have appeared. So having understood this fact, we'll move ahead, and first and foremost we have to try and understand something, that when we say separation, we immediately are reminded of personalities like Sri Madhavendra Puri, personalities like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are personifying the feeling of viraha or separation. And we are often encouraged by various devotees around us to try and follow this mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially his mood of separation. Now, his mood of separation is expressed by him in verses such as Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtumam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathastu sa eva para. So we know this verse is from the Shikshashtakam. Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtumam. You know, Lord Krishna, you may trample me under your feet, or adarshanan marmahatam karotu va, or by adarshan, by not being visible in front of me, marmahatam karotuva, you may break my heart. So yatha tatha va vidadhatu, no matter how you behave, mat prananathastu sa eva na para. So my prananath, my Lord of life is Lord Krishna, nobody else. So when we hear such ecstatic emotions in separation from Krishna, that even if he doesn't appear in front of my eyes, but still he is my Lord, life after life. So sometimes, honestly speaking, it is a bit difficult for me to understand as to how somebody can say like this, that even if Krishna doesn't appear in front of me for any amount of time, irrespective of everything that he does, he is the Lord of my life forever. So today we will try to understand how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's situation is of separation, what we call as separation or viraha, is not exactly our situation. So our situation is slightly different from viraha, and we will see why our situation is slightly different from viraha. So the reason is that separation is something which is experienced, when you were actually united with someone earlier. In the official definition, or we can say the formal definition of separation, is that the act of separating two people or two things is known as separation. Now, separation is very interesting because in order for two people to be separated, they should have been united at a certain point of time. So, in order for us to say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing viraha or viyoga, we understand that at some point of time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also experiencing some yoga, that is union with Krishna. Since he was experiencing some yoga, therefore today he is able to experience viyoga, separation. Because, if I have met someone, then I can experience separation from that particular person. But if I have never met somebody in the first place in my life, how can I ever say that I am separated from that person? So this is very important. So there are I have, many of my friends here are there on this talk. Hari Prabhu, are you present here, Prabhuji? If you are present, please respond with a yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hari Prabhu, yes, sir. Yes, Prabhu. So, Hari Kishore Prabhu, I want to ask you, can two people be separated if they were never united in the first place?
According to your definition, no, Prabhuji. I mean, according to the universal definition, as you said, no.
Yeah. When it comes to experience of separation, feeling sad due to separation, can there be this feeling of separation, of sadness, if two people were never united in the first place?
I don't think so, because um, in the separation, we think about what we have done together. So separation
Right.
means try to realize, and
Right.
is that okay?
Yes, because see, there are so many people in the world whom I have never met, whom you have never met. Do you feel separation from those people? Prabhu? No, you don't feel separation from. So when we use this term separation, of separation from God, we are automatically indicating that there was union at some point of time. But in our case, like I'm speaking about myself, in our case, this is not the case. Basically, my case is absence of God. Let me be very honest. My case is this absence of God. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing this emotion of viraha and viyoga, is because he has seen Krishna previously on so many number of occasions. And in my case, my life has been one of complete darkness, because the only things that I could see is what the material nature showed me. That's all. The only things I saw is YouTube and Facebook and the material world. That's what the material world showed me. So my case is a classic case of absence. Absence is when the state in which a certain person is completely away from our life. That is the state of absence. So that is the state in which I am currently existing, and this state marks my current state of existence. Absence is my current state of existence. So having known this fact, separation and absence should be considered as two different things. And somebody may ask, Hari Parshad Das, is this your new categorization, or have the previous acharyas categorized like this? So rest assured, please don't worry. I will not give you a new categorization. I will speak exactly as the previous acharyas have spoken. Where have the previous acharyas spoken this? This we will see. But first and foremost, we should understand that separation from God and absence of God are two separate things. And what we are experiencing in life is not separation from God. What we are experiencing often in life is absence of God. And therefore, there are many people in the world who, because God is not present in their lives, because of that, such people become extremely atheistic in their life. So there was one person, one philosopher whom Prabhupada liked to quote very much. His name was Frederick Nietzsche. So Nietzsche is famous for making a statement. What is Nietzsche's statement? His statement in German is given here. It approximately translates to God is dead. God remains dead and we have killed him. So because these individuals, they were highly intellectual, they tried to find God in the world outside, but everywhere they saw, they could experience absence of God. That God was surprisingly absent from this place. Wherever I went, I tried to find. And for this reason, when they saw that the scientific community, the age of enlightenment has made so much progress, then they declared like this: God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. Why does he say we have killed him? He says we have killed him because we made such progress in the age of enlightenment that we no longer have any need for God. So it's a very interesting thing if you try to analyze his statement. He says God is dead. Now, for Nietzsche's God to be dead, the God should have been alive in the first place. because only a person who has been alive at a certain point of time dies. So he is indirectly accepting that there was a God at a certain point of time and now he is dead. Instead, what Nietzsche should have said is that God never existed in the first place and we never gave birth to him. So God is dead. When he says that, he is indirectly assuming that God was alive at a certain point of time. So dear devotees, this is what happens in the material world. Many people, they turn away from the conception of God because they find extreme absence of God in their day-to-day lives. And this may also be our condition, that we may not have had a single direct darshan of Krishna. And the atheists also complain a lot about it. So somebody may say, all right, fair enough, you're an atheist, so you should ideally have nothing to do with God. You should have no complaints, because if God doesn't exist in your philosophy, then why are you complaining against a personality that doesn't exist? But then the atheists don't stop complaining about God. Another thing which the atheists do very often is they complain about God a lot. So it is one of the very famous complaints of an atheist which I found is as follows. An anonymous atheist, he says God could totally get rid of all atheism if he would just show up. I mean, think of it, how hard it would be for the Almighty to peel back the clouds every day at 3 p.m. and say for God time and say, hey guys, here I am. And so if he did that, no atheism. So why doesn't he do that if we are supposed to believe in him? So it sounds like a very valid argument that God could completely get rid of all atheism if just he would every day at a certain point of time, 3 o'clock, if he would just show up and say, here I am God, and pull back the clouds and say, this is their conception of God, a personality behind the clouds. Every day at 3 o'clock, he should pull back the clouds and say, see, here I am. So you should all believe in me. And that's all. So that is how even an atheist feels the severe absence of God in their life. That is how even the atheists also keep talking about God, even though they have no belief in God. So, dear devotees, this is the condition of the atheists. Now, we are not atheists. Certainly, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and we know something from our previous acharyas. What do we know? We know how to utilize a situation to the best benefit of our bhajan. That is what we should understand. Our current situation is absence of God. Let's say this, our current situation, my current situation is absence of God. Now, in this situation of God being absent from my life, what can I do? So there are two pertinent questions. First is, as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, I should understand why God doesn't show himself. And as a Gaudiya Vaishnava, I should understand what do I do now. So these are two questions which I have to answer, which I will try to answer in this presentation. That God is not only, we are not experiencing separation from God, we are experiencing absence of God. Now, question is, why doesn't Krishna show himself so easily? And what do we do? In this state of existence, have the acharyas given some recommendations for us. So let's begin, dear devotees. The first thing is, Srila Jiva Goswami explains the reason in his Paramatma Sandarbha as to why Bhagavan is not present, or God is not present in front of all the living entities. So Srila Jiva Goswami says, Bhagavan is not present in front of all living entities because all the living entities who are eternally existing, there are two types of living entities. They have two types of natures. So Srila Jiva Goswami says, Tadevam ananta eva jivakyas tatasthaha shaktayah. In the Paramatma Sandarbha, he says, Ananta eva jivakyas. The infinite are marginal potencies, or the jivas. They are tatastha shaktaya. They are marginal potency of the Lord. They are known as tatastha shakti. So infinite, they are infinite, existing since time immemorial. There was never a time when they were created. And then Jiva Goswami says, Tatra tasam vargadvayam. So in this Tatastha Shakti, or amongst all the jivas, vargadvayam, there are two broad categories. What are the two broad categories? Jiva Goswami says, Eko, the first category, Vargo, Anadita eva, since time immemorial. He says, Anadita, since time immemorial. So there was never a time when this was not the case. Since eternal time, Bhagavad Unmukha has turned towards the Lord favorably. Anyastu, and the second category, Anadita eva Bhagavat Parangmukha, has eternally turned away from Bhagavan, or eternally turned away from the Lord. So amongst all these living entities, he says there are two broad categories. One category has beginningless inclination towards the Supreme Lord, and the other has a beginningless disinclination towards the Lord. So those who have beginningless anadi, unmukha, those who have beginningless inclination, those who are favorable since time immemorial, those living entities are the ones who have this darshan of Krishna constantly in the spiritual world. And those who have themselves made a choice that we do not wish to have, we do not wish to have anything to do with Bhagavan, they have turned away from him. Now in the material world, after many lifetimes, we may be thinking that I want to see Bhagavan, I want to have a darshan of Bhagavan. But for many lifetimes, we have lived without this deep desire of having anything to do with Bhagavan. So we are the ones who are fitting in this second category of beginningless disinclination. And for this reason, Bhagavan also, Krishna, doesn't show himself very easily. It's not that he never shows himself, but he never shows himself very easily to such living entities. Why so? Because if he shows himself to such living entities, then there is every chance that he is overriding the freedom of those living entities, and he is trying to force them to become devotees. So if he shows himself, definitely the living entity will be attracted to him. And if that happens, where is the question of the living entity coming to Krishna by their free will? So since Krishna does not interfere in the free will of the living entity, therefore he does not easily, and I am using the term easily show himself to the living entities. Now, having understood that we are in the second category, beginningless disinclination towards Krishna, and this being the reason as to why Krishna doesn't show himself to us in this world, the material energy shows herself to us. Everything that we see around us is Krishna's energy. So although we are not able to see Krishna directly, we are able to see Krishna's energies here in this material world directly. So this is the facility that Krishna has provided for all of us in the material world. Now the second question was, what do we do now that we are in this place where we are not able to see Krishna, where ours is not a condition of separation, ours is a condition of absence of God. So it is very important, Srila Rupa Goswami and all the previous acharyas have said that we should revive our basic relationship with Krishna. Basic relationship. What is our basic relationship with Krishna? So our basic relationship with Krishna is specified in books like Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Sandarbhas. What is the basic relationship? Jivera Swarupaha Krishner Nitya Dasa. That it is the living entity's constitutional position to be an eternal servant of Krishna. So nowadays when people hear the term servant, they don't think of it as very favorable, because servitude, slavery, we have bad impressions or bad memories of these terms. So when it said Jivera Swarup Hoy Krishnera Nitya Dasa, that living entity's constitutional position is to be an eternal servant of Krishna. So that is as a sadhaka, as a practitioner of Krishna Bhakti. And as a siddha, as a perfected devotee, Some devotee may not be dasa, some devotee may be a sakha, a friend. Some devotee may not be a dasa, they may be, like a parent to Krishna. Some devotee may be like a conjugal lover to Krishna. But as long as we are in the material world, and as long as we are executing sadhan bhakti, the plain vanilla relationship defined in Shastra is that we are supposed to consider ourselves dasa. And since we are supposed to consider ourselves dasa, we are supposed to have one rasa with Krishna. And that rasa is known as dasya rasa. You see, in our society, ISKCON, in all Gaudiya Vaishnavas, when somebody becomes initiated, the first upadhi that they get is dasa. It's not like, somebody gets initiated as Krishna Sakha. They say Krishna Das, or, Krishna Mata or Krishna Pita. We don't get these designations. The first designation that we get in our society is the plain vanilla relationship that we all have with Krishna. That relationship is Das, as a sadhak. Now, when we perfect this relationship, then Krishna may select us to, according to our tendencies, Krishna may put us in a role which is separate from Das. But for the time being, in the material world, as a sadhaka, we are Das. This is what we have to understand. And as a Das, our exchange of ras should be with Krishna in a specific ras known as Dasya ras. So we should understand what is Dasya ras. Because the entire premise of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the title of the book is Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Ras means rasyate iti rasah. That which flows is known as rasa. Anything which flows is rasa. The emotion which flows, the feelings which flow are known as rasa. So we should experience some rasa, some direct emotion with Krishna. As I said, the title of the presentation is experiencing separation from Krishna, not simply knowing separation. There is a difference between knowing separation and experiencing separation. And this subtle difference has to be understood by us. We understand what is absence of Krishna, but then to experience it favorably towards Krishna, to use it in our bhajan, this is something which we have to learn today. So Srila Rupa Goswami gives another name to Dasya Ras. He calls it Prita Bhakti Ras. Prita means the first ras in which there is loving attachment to Krishna, because below this is Shanta Ras, and in Shanta Ras there is no loving attachment to Krishna. So that has been explained in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. The first step on which there is attachment, feeling of priti, mutual affection, that is Dasya Ras. So therefore Srila Rupa Goswami calls it Prita Bhakti Ras, or the mellow, or in which the devotee experiences affection for Krishna as a master. So this is Dasya Ras, dear devotees, and the devotee is characterized by considering himself as a servant and Bhagavan as a master. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami very intelligently says that in Dasya Ras also there are two categories. Please hear, all of us are Dasas. We are supposed to be Dasas. Please hear, Rupa Goswami says there are two categories in Dasya Ras. So what are the two categories, Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami says, Ayoga yoga vetasya prabhedau kathitavubhau. Dear devotees, we are touching the direct words of Srila Rupa Goswami. We are hearing the direct words written by Srila Rupa Goswami 500 years ago. So please take it very seriously. Rupa Goswami says, Prabhedau kathitau ubhau. He says there are two divisions of Prita Bhakti Ras, which means of Dasya. What are the two? Ayoga. Ayoga is absence of Krishna's association. And secondly, he says yoga. Yoga means presence of Krishna's association. So in Dasya Ras, the devotee who is a servant, he can experience this Dasya Ras, this mellow of servitude, in two ways. First, when Krishna is absent in their lives. Second, when Krishna is present in their lives. Now, Hari Kishore Prabhu, my case is ayoga. Do you agree, Prabhu? We should focus more on ayoga today than yoga, or should we focus more on yoga?
I'm much fallen, Prabhuji, so I must be yoga also. So yeah, please let's concentrate on yoga. Thank you.
Yes. So our today's focus is on ayoga, because that is the position which most of us find ourselves in. Absence of Krishna's association. I have not translated it deliberately as separation, because if I translate it as separation, then I will make another mistake, because Rupa Goswami is going to further give a subcategorization. So, dear devotees, this our main rasa which we are discussing today is Dasya Ras. Srila Rupa Goswami says the first categorization in Dasya Ras is Ayoga, and the second categorization in Dasya Ras is Yoga. Krishna's absence and Krishna's presence. Now, are there any sub varieties within Ayoga? So, Srila Rupa Goswami says, before I go into categories of Ayoga, first I will tell you what is the definition of Ayoga. What is the definition of Ayoga? Let's see. So, this is the definition of Ayoga given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami says, Sanga bhavo harer dhirair ayoga iti kathyate ayoge tanmanaskatvam tadgunadyanusandhayah trat praptupaya chintadya sarvesham kathitah kriya. So Srila Rupa Goswami says, Sanga abhavo harer, the absence of association of Krishna, of Hari. Dhirair, the learned souls, call it what? Ayoga iti kathyate. They call it Ayoga. So absence of any association of Krishna is known as Ayoga. Okay, and what does a devotee do in Ayoga? Ayoge, does a devotee become like Friedrich Nietzsche and say God is dead? So no, that is not the case. Ayoge tan manaskatvam, a devotee constantly meditates upon the Lord and tries to find him. Tad gunadi anusandhayah, and he does anusandhan. He tries to find out more about the qualities of the Lord. Who is the Lord? And tat prapti upaya chintadya, and he's always meditating. He's always taking a headache as to why, how I can attain the Lord. Tat prapti upaya. Prapti means to attain the Lord. Upaya means what is the means of attaining the Lord. Sarvesham kathitah kriya. All devotees who are in Ayoga, all of them are executing these activities. So, dear devotee, this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The absence of Hari's association is known by the learned as Ayoga. In such a condition, what happens? Thinking of Krishna, meditating on his qualities, finding ways of meeting him, etc., are the activities of the devotees. So these are the activities of the devotees, please note, not of the atheists. Rupa Goswami has not written Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for the atheists. In the very beginning, he has said, Suhridam Pramodaya, I am writing for those who are dear to my heart. And who are dear to my heart? Those who are followers of Mahaprabhu. They are dear to my heart. For the followers of Mahaprabhu, I am writing all this. I will never reveal these things to somebody who wants to remain in the material world. Never. Those who want to remain parang mukha, turned away from God for many more lifetimes, for them this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is not written. This is written for Antaranga Bhaktas, those who have turned towards Bhagavan. They should try to live like this. Okay, so Rupa Goswami says Ayoga is also of two types, because I said I will give some Shastric evidence of what I called separation and absence. So Rupa Goswami is also going to say that. Rupa Goswami says Utkanthitam viyogaschetyayogepi dvidhochyate adrishta purvasya harer tidrikshotkantitam matam. So Srila Rupa Goswami says Ayoga is of two types. Utkanthitam viyogascha iti. Utkanthitam and viyoga. These are two types. So what is Utkanthitam? So Rupa Goswami defines Utkanthitam. Adrishta purvasya harer didriksha utkanthitam matam. Utkanthitam is desire to see the Lord who has never been seen before by the devotee. Please try to understand. Now, if we go to Rupa Goswami and say, Rupa Goswami, every day I am going to the temple and there is a deity and I have darshan of the deity, how can you say that I am Utkanthita? I just have to go to the temple and Hari Kishore Prabhu, seeing the deity is same as seeing Krishna. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji, it should be.
It should be. Oh, see, he gave away. Hari Kishore Prabhu gave a careful answer. It should be. So we go and we have a darshan of the deity. But does everyone who get a darshan of the deity exchange ras with the deity? Please tell me, Hari Kishore Prabhu. Are they able to exchange ras with the deity?
At least not me, Prabhuji. I try artificially. So
I will, I will say with certainty, certainly not me, because I am in the condition where ayoga is a fact of my life, and in ayoga utkantita means I have never seen Krishna before. I am trying to, I am trying to find some ways and means in which by which I will be able to have sakshat darshan. What Rupa Goswami is speaking here about is sakshat darshan of Bhagavan. So he is making a slight distinction between seeing the deity and having sakshat darshan, because in sakshat darshan there is adan pradan, there is give and take of rasa, which may not always be there in the case of a person who has never seen God before. So dear devotees, this is Rupa Goswami's definition. Then what is Viyoga? Later Rupa Goswami defines Viyoga means somebody who saw Krishna at least once and then they got separated from Krishna. They should be put in Rupa Goswami puts a completely separate category for them, because their emotions will be completely different from the emotions of somebody who is Utkantita, who has never seen Bhagwan before. So Ayoga is a categorization of Pritaras or Dasyaras. In Ayoga Pritaras, there are two types. So some devotees relish Utkanthitam, some devotees relish Viyoga. So please know that Utkanthitam also is supposed to be relished. Now somebody may say, how can I relish absence of God? There is no religious system which gives a entire framework of how to relish complete absence of God in our lives. But Rupa Goswami is the personality who's going to change all of that, and Rupa Goswami is going to give examples of how we can begin our relishment of Dasyaras even though we are in the stage of Utkantita. But please remember, Utkantita has two characteristics. First, we must have not seen God. That is easily satisfied. That. Second, we must have didriksha. Didriksha means we should have the desire to see God. Because an atheist has not seen God, he has satisfied the first condition. But an atheist has not satisfied the second condition. What is the second condition of Utkantita? It has the desire, eager desire, favorable desire to see the Lord. So that didriksha, that desire to see the Lord in a very favorable mood, not in a challenging mood, should be there within the devotee. Then we become categorized as Utkantita. So simply not having God's presence in life is not Utkantita. Not having God's presence in one's life plus being eager to see God, that is Utkantita. So we have to understand this very carefully. Now that we understood what is Utkantita, now let's see. This is Dasyaras. Dasyaras has two categories, Ayoga and Yoga. In Ayoga, there are two categories, Utkanthitam, never seen Krishna even once, but heavy desire to see, and Viyoga, seen Krishna once and then Krishna disappeared. Like Narad Muni in his previous life. Narad Muni in his previous life, he saw Krishna once in his life, and Krishna, the only message that Krishna had to give him is, I am sorry, Narad Muni, in this life you will not be able to see me again. This is what Narad Muni told, Krishna told Narad Muni in his previous life. And then after that, what Narad Muni experienced throughout his life after that is Viyoga, because he had seen Krishna once in his life. So that is a separate case. Today I am focusing only on Utkanthitam because it honestly describes my case, and it describes the case of many of the living entities who are there in the material world. So when we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtu mam adarshanan marmahatam karotu va, the first statement only when he says Ashlishya mam padaratam pinashtu, Ashlishya va padaratam pinashtu, you may trample me under your feet. But for Krishna to trample somebody under his feet, Krishna should first appear in front of them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has already indicated that you may appear in front of me and trample me under your feet, or you may not appear in front of me. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's case, Harikishore Prabhu, what do you think? Is it a case of Utkantita or is it a case of Viyoga? What do you think, Prabhuji?
If I'm not wrong, it's yoga, right, Prabhuji? Because he has it's a different category itself, because he's not in Ayoga.
Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Ayoga. He's in separation. Why is he crying if he's not? He's in separation clearly in Jagannath Puri. In Gambhira, he's crying so much. But is his separation due to never seeing God before even once, or is it because he saw once Krishna and then Krishna disappeared?
No, it's yoga, Prabhuji. He has seen Lord,
Huh.
so that's why he's saying all this. Yeah.
Yes. So he's a clear case of experiencing Viyoga. And I am not in that same category. So Srila Rupa Goswami, if you know, I can take inspiration from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato. And you call him lampat. How did you come to the conclusion that God is lampat? And, because you must have seen him before in order to describe him so nicely. Therefore, I am not in the same category as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I need some other examples, Srila Rupa Goswami. Honestly speaking, I need some other examples who can inspire me from the condition that I am in. So in my present condition of Utkantita, I need some examples from whom I can take inspiration. So Srila Rupa Goswami says, fine, let's relish. Let's see the people who have relished Dasya Ras when they were Utkantita. So who are the examples that we have to understand? So Srila Rupa Goswami gives an example of who is a devotee who was relishing Utkantita. So he gives the example of Maharaj Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku, many of us might have heard. You know, Ikshvaku is one of the great kings of one of the great lineages of history. Maharaj Ikshvaku, about Ikshvaku, Rupa Goswami gives a statement. This statement is from the Nrisimha Purana. Rupa Goswami says, चकार मेघे तद्वर्णे बहुमान रतिं नृपः पक्षपातेन तन्नाम्नि मृगे पद्मे च तदृशी. So Rupa Goswami says the king Nripaha, what is the name of the king? Ikshvaku, demonstrated immense respect and attraction. Bahumana ratim, immense respect and attraction towards three entities. First is clouds, meghe. Why? Because whose color resembled the Lord, Tadvarne. So first thing means if he would have directly seen the Lord, then you know that would be out of the question. He has not seen the Lord, but he has heard about the Lord. He heard Lord is like the cloud. His bodily color is like the Lord, is like the dark cloud. So Maharaj Ikshvaku is so favorable towards the Lord that even though the Lord is absent in his life till now, when he sees a cloud, he demonstrates extreme respect and love, attraction towards that cloud. So he gives extreme respect to the cloud and he's very attracted to the color of the cloud. Second is Pakshapatena Tannamni Mrige, towards the Krishna Mriga. So first, dear devotees, is the cloud. Can you see a cloud, dear devotees? When you know Maharaj Ikshvaku used to see a cloud in the sky, he would stand still and keep watching with great respect, because he understood that very soon in the near future, I am going to see a personality whose color is like this. So this is the first thing he demonstrated immense respect towards. Second is towards Krishna Mriga, black buck, because his name is Krishna Mriga. So simply because his name has Krishna in it, therefore by the name being similar, you know, Maharaj Ikshvaku used to give it immense respect. So amongst all the deers and bucks, the Krishna Mriga, or the black colored deer or black colored buck, was given immense respect by Maharaj Ikshvaku. And third is towards the lotus flowers, he would give immense respect and he had immense attraction, because why? Lotus flowers petals resembled the eyes of the Lord. So when we see the petals of the lotus flower, we see he knew that, you know, this is how I am going to see the eyes of Bhagavan. So see the favorability of the devotee, that even though he has not seen Bhagavan till now, he has attraction towards any object which resembles Bhagavan. This is the nature of a devotee, and this is how we should be. That whenever we see some entity around us which is having some resemblance to Krishna, then we should definitely have immense attraction towards that particular living entity, just like Maharaj Ikshvaku was exhibiting. His name is not mentioned directly in the verse, but in the commentary, Srila Jiva Goswami says that the term Dripaha, king, here refers to King Ikshvaku. So from Jiva Goswami, we have come to know that the name of this king is King Ikshvaku. Now, showing attraction, showing respect is okay, a basic emotion. We want to experience more emotions. Hare Krishna Prabhu, are you ready for more emotions, or just should we stay on the first level, or should we go higher than this, Prabhu?
No, we should surely go, Prabhuji. It's keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should go higher. Rupa Goswami says there are many more emotions. We should go much higher than this. We should experience more emotions. And Rupa Goswami says there are many sanchari bhavas. Now, what is sanchari bhava? That we have to understand. What is sanchari bhava? These are known as temporary emotion, transitory emotion. So every person who is a das, every devotee who is a das, who surrendered to Bhagavan, can experience these temporary emotions known as sanchari bhavas. What is the meaning of sanchari bhavas? Like waves in an ocean, they rise and they fall. So these emotions arise within the heart, and they go down within the heart. They do not stay forever. Therefore, they are known as sanchari, transitory emotions or temporary emotions. So, Rupa Goswami says, Sancharayanti bhavasya gatim sancharino pite unmajjanti nimajjanti sthayanyamritavaridhau urmivad vardhayantyenam yanti tadrupatam chate. So, Srila Rupa Goswami says, since they nourish and speeden the sthayi bhav, predominant mellow, they are known as sanchari bhavas. So this may be a little technical, but I'll make it easy. He is giving an example. Please focus on the example. They rise and fall like waves in the nectar ocean of bhakti. Thus, like waves, they enliven the ocean and then again merge back into it. So, Harikishore Prabhu, I'll need some help from you. So, Harikishore Prabhu, can you see an ocean in front of you?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, how does an ocean become alive? Because if there are no waves, will the ocean appear alive or will it appear still?
It will appear still, Prabhuji. Yeah, we
Yes.
feel that.
Yeah. At the same time, are the waves the main part of the ocean, or the main water body is the main part of the ocean?
The main water body, which is in the center, but the waves are at the
Yeah.
Sure.
So the waves are a part of the ocean.
Right.
They arise in the ocean and they go again back down in the ocean.
Right.
That is what the waves are. So for some time they have a separate identity from the ocean, although they are one with the ocean, and then they again merge back into the ocean. So Srila Rupa Goswami says the ocean is our main ras. The main ras is called as sthai bhav. Our sthai bhav is dasya ras. So that ras is the ocean. And from time to time, some transitory emotion, sanchari bhav, arises and goes down. From time to time, some sanchari bhav arises and goes. But the purpose of the sanchari bhav is to nourish the main mukhya bhav, sthai bhav. It nourishes, just like a wave nourishes the ocean, it gives life to the ocean. Similarly, these transitory emotions, these temporary emotions, they further nourish our sthai bhav, that is dasya. Our predominant emotion, sthai bhav, is called as dasya. So these waves temporarily rise and fall down. So what are these waves? These are some temporary emotions which a das experiences, and by experiencing these emotions, his dasya ras is further nourished. So we have to learn about some sanchari bhavas, and we have to experience some of them from the point of view of the previous devotees. So Rupa Goswami will now, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in Utkanthita Pritaras, that category to which I am belonging, Rupa Goswami says following sanchari bhavas can prominently arise. First is Autsukya. Autsukya is known as Utsukta. Utsukta means eagerness can arise. Second is Dainya, feeling very low about oneself. Third is Nirveda, becoming dejected. I feel, Prabhu. Do you feel sometimes, Prabhu, Nirveda when you are executing your bhajan?
Yeah, whenever I don't follow, like whenever I wake up later, you feel that you feel dejected, and
That is dejection towards one's own self. I'm saying dejection due to Lord not being present.
very less, probably. Yes, sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah. Therefore, it is sanchari. It is not sthai bhav. It is sanchari. It arises, it goes down.
Yeah.
Then chinta, sometimes mental anxiety. Oh Lord, when will I be? How will I be able to attain you? Then chapalata, sometimes unsteadiness. The mind goes here, the mind goes there. Then jadata, sometimes stiffness, laziness. Unmad, sometimes exhilaration will become extremely ecstatic. And moha, sometimes delusion, etc. So these are the sanchari bhavas, etc. means many more can also be there, but these are the prominent sanchari bhavas which every devotee who is in dasya ras experiences from time to time. Now, let's experience the first Outsukyam. Let's see how the devotees, previous devotees have relished Outsukya, eagerness. This is a temporary emotion which we will be affected by. Later it will go down. But it will nourish one thing. It will nourish our predominant emotion of being Das of Krishna. So, for Outsukyam, Srila Rupa Goswami is quoting Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur. We can see Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur. He is unable to see Krishna. First thing Krishna should say to Bilva Mangal Thakur is, Bilva Mangal Thakur, you poked your own eyes out. And now why are you asking for a darshan? So the answer is, can a blind man see Krishna? Question is, can a blind man see Krishna? And if the answer is yes, that's a big philosophical discussion in itself. Can a blind man see Krishna? So the answer to that question is yes. And Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur wants to see Krishna within his heart. And Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur, in that stage of being a sadhaka where he has not yet attained even one darshan of Krishna, at that time he is exhibiting outsukya, eagerness. Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur says, Amunya dhanyani dinantarani hare tvadalokanamantaren anatha bandho karunaika sindhu ha hanta katham nayami. So he says, Amuni adhanyani dinantarani. He says, oh Hare, oh Anatha Bandho, O protector of those who have no other protector. Karunaika Sindhu, O exclusive ocean of mercy. Amoni adhanyani dinantarani. So many days are passing. These days are adhanya, inauspicious. Hare tvad alokanam antarena. Because I am not able to see you in any one of these days. How will I be able to pass my days like this without having a darshan of you? Each and every day is passing and I am changing my calendar month after month. Today is January. After 15 days, it will be February. After a few days, it will be March. I just keep on changing my calendar. And all these days are marked as inauspicious. Because sometimes some Vedic calendars say, this day is auspicious for performing all activities. This day is not auspicious. In a Vedic calendar, there are some days are marked as auspicious days, some days are marked as inauspicious days. But according to Bilva Mangal Thakur, all days in his calendar are marked as inauspicious days. Why? Because every day that I am passing is a day in which I have not received your darshan. Ha hanta, alas. Katham Nayami, how will I spend these inauspicious days without having a darshan of you? This is Krishna Karanamritam. Rupa Goswami has quoted this. Now, Srila Rupa Goswami likes to quote, Bilva Mangal Thakur. And there is another particular author which my Guru Maharaj, Sri Srimad Radha Govindas Goswami Maharaj, would like to frequently quote. This author is a commentator on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a pastime wherein Govardhan Leela takes place. Nanda Maharaj wants to perform Indra Puja. The original intention of Nanda Maharaj is to perform Indra Puja. And Krishna tries to ask from him, why are you performing Indra Puja? And Nanda Maharaj doesn't say anything initially. So Krishna says something to Nanda Maharaj. What does Krishna say to Nanda Maharaj? Krishna says, please tell me about it, O Father. I have a great desire to know and I am ready to hear in good faith. And then Krishna says, certainly no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mine or another's, tuam or mama, mera or tera, and who don't consider who is a friend, who is enemy, who is neutral. So Krishna says like this. So there is a devotee waiting in the corner. His name is one of the most favorite commentators of my Guru Maharaj. His name is Sri Hari Suri. So he is waiting for this Krishna to make this statement. because Sri Hari Suri also wants to express his eagerness, Autsukyam. So Sri Hari Suri goes ahead and makes a sarcastic comment towards Bhagavan. Dear devotees, now comes a sarcastic comment towards Bhagavan, because Krishna is saying to Nanda Maharaj, saintly people who is a friend and who is an enemy, they just immediately do their benefit. So Nanda Maharaj, you should tell me what is our benefit, why you are doing what you are doing. So Krishna gave this instruction to the Gopas and Nanda Maharaj. At that time, Sri Hari Suri comes and speaks a statement to Krishna. What is the statement of Sri Hari Suri? Yairnagyai manaksuridvishadudasinatva vano Teshamanya samadrisham gopyam na kinchit kvachit gopanevam upadishasthaduchitam swatmapyupadishyatam yo yasmadhitakrit kripa prakatane Shri Shalasa samprati. Very authentic Sanskrit commentator, genius. He says, at this point of time, Harisuri says, Yairna gyayi manaksurit vishadudam sinatva bhedo vanam. Harisuri says, oh Lord, you said that those saintly souls who possess equanimity, who are equal at heart, they don't see any difference between friend, enemy, neutral person. They should never hide any beneficial facts from anyone at any point of time. You gave these instructions. Gopyam na kinchit kvachit. Don't hide anything from anyone, even if they are your enemy. Then Harisuri says, Gopan evam upadishas. You are giving this big upadesh to Gopas. Taduchitam, much better than this. Swatma apyupadishyatam. First give this instruction to your own self. Why? Krishna, you give this instruction to your own self first. Why? Yo yasmadhita krit kripa. Am I worse than your enemy, that for so many days you have not bestowed the highest favor upon me? You are telling all the gopas that you should bestow the highest favor upon, you should bestow favor even upon an enemy. You should not consider who is a friend, who is an enemy. So, dear Krishna, while you are giving such a lofty instruction to the gopas, it's better that you also give the same instruction to your own self. Why so? Because when it comes to showing mercy and benefit to your devotees such as myself, Shrisha Alasaha Samprati, Shrisha Alasaha, you are still alsi. Even till today you are very lazy, oh dear Lord. So this, dear devotees, is Autsukyam, but it is coming out in the form of a complaint. So this is a very good example of Autsukyam, how eager he is to have a darshan of the Lord, although he has already had a darshan of the Lord in his life before he wrote this verse. So another emotion is dainyam, feeling lowly about oneself. So we'll do one or two more verses. I'm not able to do all Sanchari Bhavas, but let this be an encouragement that all of us should read about all these feelings. At least we are in the position of being utkanthita. This is we are adhikrit. We are, we are eligible for reading about that, those devotees who are utkanthita. So we should read about their emotions and we should feel those emotions. Sahriday, that is what Rupa Goswami calls Sahriday, whose heart touches the heart of another devotee. Sahriday, like-hearted. When we become Sahriday, like-hearted with these devotees, then their emotions will come into our heart. Otherwise, there are people like Nietzsche who will put their emotions in our heart, and that should not happen in our spiritual life. So we should become Sahriday. We should not try to bring Srila Rupa Goswami into our universe. We should enter into Srila Rupa Goswami's universe. Give up this universe and enter into their universe. So another verse, Srila Rupa Goswami, about Dainyam, feeling lowly about oneself. So this verse is in the meter Malini. Asi shashi mukutadyair apyalabhye kshanastvam lagurahara kitadapyaham kutakarma iti vishadrashtapi prarthane prarthayami snapaya kripana bandho mamapangachatavi. So the devotee, another devotee is saying, Asi shashi mukutadyair. Shashi mukuta means he who has a crown of the moon. So there is a deity who has a crown of the moon, that is Lord Shiva, Shashimukuta, known as Shashimukuta. Api alabhya ekshanastvam. You are not even, it is not possible for even him to see you easily, O Krishna. So if Lord Shiva can also not see you very easily, who am I? Laghur, I am very Laghu. Agahara, O killer of Aghasur. Kitadapi aham kuta karma. I am lower than an insect, and I am, so many sinful activities are piled up on me. Iti visadrishatapi. Even though there is such a big difference, between myself and Lord Shiva, even though I have absolutely no qualification, prarthane prarthayami. Still, I am praying to you. What prayer? Snapaya kripana bandho mamapangachatavi. Please bathe me in the nectarian waters of your sidelong glances and show yourself to me, dear Lord. So this is the translation. O killer of Agha. Agha means Aghasur. Agha also means sin. So, O killer of all sins, and O killer of Aghasur. Two meanings to Aghahara. Your darshan is impossible even for Lord Shiva, etc. What then to speak of me, who is deeply buried in a pile of sinful acts and lower than an insect? O well-wisher of the fallen. Thus, even though there is such great disqualification in me, I still pray that you kindly bathe me with the nectarian waves of your sidelong glances of unconditional mercy. So, this is Srila Rupa Goswami's statement, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He is quoting a devotee. So, this is Dainyam, feeling lowly about oneself. Sri Vallabhacharya says, actually bhakti, because his path of bhakti, Sri Vallabhacharya's path of bhakti and Srila Rupa Goswami's path of bhakti have many similarities. Many similarities. So Sri Vallabhacharya says at this point of time, actual bhakti is when we should drop all conditions and Krishna should drop all conditions. Both of them should drop all preconditions of perfection. So that is what he calls the highest type of bhakti. He says, यत्रांगीकरणेनैव योग्यतादिविचारणम् अविलम्बः प्रभुः कृतः पुष्टिमार्गः सकृत् कथ्यते. So Sri Vallabhacharya says the marga, path of bhakti, on which there is absolutely no consideration of qualification of the devotee by the Lord. The Lord doesn't see what is the qualification, what is the disqualification. And the path on which the Lord accepts the devotee very swiftly, that marga or that path is called as pushtima. That's the best type of acceptance, wherein the Lord doesn't say, oh, this person has been waking up for Mangalarti for 15 years, so I will give him my mercy. This cannot be the criteria for mercy, dear devotees. Why? Because bhakti cannot be conditional. How can bhakti be dependent on any conditions? A certain number, is there a formula for bhakti? Certain number of years you go for Mangal Arti, certain number of rounds you chant, and then Krishna must appear. Is it like that? No, it is not like that. The formula for bhakti is there is no qualification other than the Lord's sweet will. This is the formula for bhakti, and that is the best type of path. Now somebody may say, Sri Vallabhacharya is saying, well, if he's saying for his sampradaya, has anybody in our sampradaya said like this? So what to speak of, in our sampradaya, there was our own Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, one point of time in Atlanta, he was crying. And Srila Prabhupada was crying, he was making this statement. There are very few occasions on which Prabhupada cried. This is one of them when he was crying in Atlanta. He was saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Parama Karuna Pahu Duijana. Two lords, Nitai Gaur Chandra, Nityanand Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind, you see. They have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So they are more kind than Krishna. Krishna, he is also very kind. So he comes to deliver. But Krishna demands that first of all surrender. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not demand that surrender. No preconditions attached, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada himself was saying at that point of time, he's so kind. And then Prabhupada's voice started choking. And at that point of time, Prabhupada started crying there. And he said, so take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. And he said, thank you very much. Then Prabhupada was crying at that point of time because this is actual acceptance. For the Das, he may be most unqualified, but he has that, he knows within his heart that finally when I will be accepted by Bhagavan, it's only a matter of time. It's not a matter of qualification. So finally when I will be accepted by Bhagavan, I will be accepted without consideration of qualification. That will be true acceptance by Bhagwan. I don't want a certificate from Bhagwan that Hari Parshad Das, you were present in the Mangal Arati for so many days, you did this seva, that seva, and as a result of that, I am giving you this. No, I don't want that business deal. I don't want to exchange my Mangal Artis as a currency against getting Krishna Prem. What I want is Krishna. I am accepting you, without any consideration. So Krishna, you accept me without any consideration. This is the best beginning of a relationship with Bhagavan. That is what I want personally, for Krishna to accept me. So this is dropping all preconditions. Dear devotees, Rupa Goswami has thus taught us what is the best use of God's absence. The best use of God's absence is, even though God is externally absent, we flip it into divine internal presence, because external absence can lead to internal presence, and sometimes external presence of Krishna can lead to internal absence. Like in the case of Shishupal, Krishna was externally present in front of him, but there was no Krishna in his heart. So sometimes it is better that Krishna is not externally present, but internally he has filled our heart and our universe. Rupa Goswami says in Padyavali, Sangama viraha vikalpe varamiha viraho na sangamastasya ekah sa eva sange tribhuvanam apitanmayam virahe. Rupa Goswami says Sangama viraha vikalpe, between union and separation. When I say separation, it also includes not seeing Krishna. I prefer separation more than union. Why? Because when I meet him, he is manifest only in one place. But in separation, my entire universe is filled with him. So this is the difference between union and separation. Dear devotees, therefore, Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur gives a final challenge to God. You think you are not present in front of me, and you are showing your mightiness by not being present in front of me. And one day Krishna came in front of Bilva Mangal Thakur, and he held Bilva Mangal Thakur's hand. And Bilva Mangal Thakur was speaking to him, talking to him. And suddenly, after some time, Krishna wanted to run away, and Bilva Mangal Thakur was still holding on to Krishna's hand, and Krishna forcibly took away his hand and ran away. At that time, Bilva Mangal Thakur laughed and said, Hastamutshipya yatosi balat Krishna kimadbhutam hridayad yadi niryasi paurusham ganayamite. I'll say in Hindi it sounds much sweeter. हाथ झिटक के जा रहे हो, हस्तम उत्क्षिप्य यातोसी, बलात्, जबरदस्ती हाथ छिटक के जा रहे हो, कृष्ण किम अद्भुतम, इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है, हृदयाद यदि निर्यासी, हृदय से निकल के दिखाओ, पौरुषम गणयामि, में तब मानूंगा कि आप में साहस है. So this is what in English I will say, you are forcibly snatching away your hand and running. Oh Krishna, kim adbhutam, where is your bravery in this? Hridayad yadi niryasi, the day on which you manage to leave my heart, paurusham ganayamite, then I will count it as your bravery. Oh dear Krishna. So this is how devotees are, this is how devotees experience the separation from Bhagavan. Even though Bhagavan is, they are separated from Bhagavan externally, by the inspiration of the previous devotees, Bhagavan will always remain alive in their heart. So, all glories to these previous devotees who have kept this feeling burning in our heart. They have kept their messages for us, even though we may have never seen God even once in our lives. So with this, dear devotees, I thank all of you for kindly being present here. I tried to present a very small portion of, being separated from Krishna, although the title of the presentation should have been Absence of Krishna. But since, the term which we frequently use is separation, therefore I use that term. We experience also absence of Krishna as divine internal presence. How to do that? I made a small attempt to explain that. I'm very thankful to Harikeshwar Prabhu, Madhupati Prabhu, all the wonderful devotees at ISKCON Central New Jersey. And I would like to say, Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit Vidvamsah Purayantu Tat, Yadatra Saushthavam Kinchit Tad Guroreva Me Nahi. Yadatra Skhalitam Kinchit. It's possible that I may have made many mistakes in the presentation. Vidvamsah Purayantu Tat. All of you are Vidvans. You kindly correct me wherever I have made a mistake. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit. But if there was anything nice, even a small statement which was nice, please understand. Tad Guru Reva, it belongs to my Guru Janas, may nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Hari Parshad Prabhu. It was a wonderful class, and I would like Madhupati Prabhu to speak now. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhu.
I just had some question. Hari Parshad Prabhu.
Yeah.
Mention about Vyoga Dashera, separation.
Okay.
And then we also see Vipralamba Bhav, which is part of the Madhurya.
Yeah. Vipralamba is Vipralamba is the Vyoga which occurs in Madhurya Ras. That is the separation which occurs in Shringar Ras or Madhurya Ras. That is termed by Rupa Goswami as Vipralamba in Ujjwal Nilmani.
Yes. Okay. So, Mahaprabhu would be when he is experiencing separation from the Lord, would be at that particular stage, right? Vipralamba.
Yeah, he's experiencing all the rasas with Bhagwan because Chari Bhav Angikari. He has Chaitanya Charitamrita says that he has accepted 4 modes. One mode he has left out, which is Shanta.
Okay.
Besides Shanta, unless he personally experiences, how can he teach to the other devotees? So he has to personally experience and teach to all the devotees. So that says Navadvipe Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya. He gives 4 types of bhakti. So the 4 types of bhakti, as the Supreme Lord, he gives 4 types of bhakti: Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. His personal relishment is greatest in Madhurya because of having Radha Bhav. But otherwise, he is also experiencing other bhavas.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
One Hari Parshad Prabhu, thank you very much. We want to know if you are available for February 28th morning 8 to 9 a.m. or February 14th Sunday either morning 8 to 9 or evening 8 to 9.
Yeah, I've yet to check if I've already committed on those specific dates, but I'll definitely get back to Hari Kishore Prabhu about this.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Go ahead, Madhukar.
Hari Parshad Prabhu, do you have time for 1 or 2 questions? No?
Yeah, any number. As long as you're okay, I'm okay. I'm here for answering all the questions. As long as devotees are okay, they want to ask, they can ask. And if somebody devotee has some seva they wish to go, then they can go, no problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we have Amritananda Prabhu. He has some question. Amritananda Prabhu, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. You mentioned that there is this absence, and absence is when there hasn't really seen Krishna at all in their life. Do you mean in the material condition? Because there's also the understanding that once upon a time we were all associates of Krishna, and because we repelled of having desires separate from him, we came to the material world. So what is the proper understanding of that absence, never seen Krishna?
Okay. So this is actually a part of a bigger question. The bigger question is, were we ever with Krishna in the first place? And there are certain places where Srila Prabhupada indicates in his writings that we were with Krishna, and then due to envy we fell down and we came into the material world. But the previous acharyas, all of them are very consistent in saying this thing, that the conditioned jiva was never with Krishna in the first place. Therefore, Jiva Goswami uses the term Anadita Eva Bahirmukha. From Anadikal, he is Bahirmukha, which means he was never with Krishna in the first place. So, therefore, there are these understandings are there. Whatever when the previous acharyas say that the jiva is in the material world, they are very clearly meaning that the jiva has never ever been in Krishna's company at any point of time. So this has to be understood very carefully. When we see the previous acharyas making their statements, they are all very clearly indicating that the jiva has never ever been with Krishna. We have a container to experience rasa, but that container was never filled previously, never ever filled previously. So we have the potential to experience rasa, because we are also able to experience rasa in the material world. So many material rasas we are able to experience. That same container can be filled with bhakti rasa, but till now it has not been filled, because if it would have been filled, there was nothing which could have emptied it. So that is the understanding of the previous acharyas. Maybe on some special occasions Prabhupada said that we were with Krishna and we fell down. It may be for some special purpose he said it, but the standard understanding of all the previous acharyas is that we were never with Krishna, those who are conditioned living entities. So that is the answer to your query.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we have H. Gandhi Prabhu. Who is it?
Oh, Rishikesh Prabhu, very good.
Prabhuji, you're in mute. Can you please unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. Please accept my obeisances. Very wonderful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Just wanted to understand, Krishna comes in one day of Brahma every day. And, in those days, obviously, I must have been in contact with him. So basically, then what is a guarantee that even in this lifetime, I may go back to him, I may be eternally just be condemned here. I mean, how do I hope that I will go back to him, because I was never with him. That's what you just said. So I hope I'm not eternally be condemned here,
No, you're not being eternally condemned, Prabhu. You've already, the main qualification is, Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Laulyam. Do we have the eager intensity of desire to attain Krishna Bhakti? So in many previous lives, we have not had that. So since we have not had that in many previous lives, therefore, it is not possible for us to easily think that we can become liberated. But Srila Jiva Goswami in his Sandarbhas, he gives a very nice quote about it, and I would like to quote, if in the beginning of the Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami gives a very wonderful quote. And what is that quote? I am sharing my screen with you so that all of us can also see what Jiva Goswami says. So in the beginning of Bhakti Sandarbha, there is a quote that Jiva Goswami gives. Here is my screen. So he says, Ata evoktam Brahma Vaivarta. In the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, there is something. This is relevant to your query. Yavat papa istu malinam hridayam. As long as the heart is, polluted by papa, sinful activities, sinful desires. Tavadevahi. Only till that time, na shastre satya buddhi syat. One does not develop satya buddhi, immense faith in the shastras. Sad buddhi sadguru tatha, and in the sadguru. So till the time the heart is polluted with sinful activities, one does not develop proper faith in Shastra and Sadguru. But now you developed it, which means that there has been some thorough cleansing. How did this cleansing happen? Next verse, Jiva Goswami says, Aneka Janma Janita, result of many lives of doing what? Punya Rashi, immense devotional pious activity. Means some indirect devotion has been done in previous lives. Phalam Mahat, this great fruit you have attained. Satsanga, you got Satsanga, association of Guru Janas, association of Vaishnavas. Shastra Shravanat, and you got to hear bona fide Shastra. Eva Premadi Jayate, now very soon Prema will be born. So very soon we will have Prema. So this Jiva Goswami said in Bhakti Sandarbha, in the very beginning he has said this thing. So it's not that you will be eternally condemned here or something like that. The thing is, currently you are on the path. Some people can also say that Rishikesh Prabhu is liberated now. How can we say that Rishikesh Prabhu is liberated now? For example, if from Mumbai I leave my home and I am on the way to Delhi. Now somebody comes to my home and asks my mother, where is Hari Parshad Das? She will say, Hari Parshad Das already has gone to Delhi. He has not yet reached Delhi. He's on the way. But when we say that he's already in Delhi, he's already gone to Delhi. Sometimes say, oh yeah, Rishikesh Prabhu is already He has gone on. He's already, on the way to attaining love of Krishna. He's already attained Krishna, which means he's on the way. He's on the proper path, and very soon, by proper association, by hearing, by experiencing bhakti ras. Most importantly, by experiencing bhakti ras, our practice of Krishna consciousness should not remain simply within the books. Our practice of Krishna consciousness should turn into a practical experience. If followers of Rup Goswami could not experience ras, then who will experience ras? Please tell me. So this is how we will make progress. So I hope that clarifies.
Thank you, Prabhu. Just one last question, Prabhu. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stress on Vipralamba, service and separation. But as we understand from this class of yours that there's an absence of God in my heart. I generally cannot even feel the separation. So what does Vipralamba means to us, like to people like me, who is not relevant actually? It's not relevant in my life.
Yeah. So since Vipralamba or Viyoga is for someone who has earlier had Samyoga or union with God, those who have never had a Samyoga or union with God, how can they experience Vipralamba?
Right.
Rupa Goswami therefore clearly says these two are in separate categories. So Utkantita is someone who has never seen God before. So Utkantita means here we have never seen God before. Then those devotees should follow in the footsteps first of those devotees like Bilva Mangal Thakur, who themselves were Utkantita at one point of time. And then follow in their footsteps and then gain those emotions within the heart towards Krishna. From them, take Krishna will never give. It's not that one fine day Krishna say, hey, no, Hari Parshad, take 1 kg of emotions for me in your heart. No, that is not going to happen. So what is going to happen is we have to follow in the footsteps of these devotees. And what moods they have left for us, then relish those moods. And when relish those moods, then it will be induced in your heart. To be induced in your heart, you will have the same feelings for Bhagavan. You'll have same feelings for Bhagavan, you are on your way to perfection. And very soon, Rupa Goswami says there will be Siddhi. Siddhi means first darshan will be there. And then when first darshan is there, then you can further experience Viyoga. That will be a different state of the Sanchari bhavs of Viyoga are very much more intense, so as compared to those of Utkantita. I hope that clarifies.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hari Prasad. So we have, we have Vilas Manjari Mataji. She wants to ask a question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for wonderful class. It was very deep and devotional. I had a question like Utkantitam Dasya. In that, like you gave example of Bilva Mangala Thakur and others in terms of eagerness and Danya qualities. In order for, that means we haven't seen Krishna before, and I have intense desire to see him, have his darshan. Is there a qualification? To have the desire, should we have to be free from sinful reactions and conditions, material conditions, or was it the case with Bilva Mangala Thakur when he felt like that, or he was a pure devotee? These are the two questions, Prabhu. Thank you.
So besides the intense desire for seeing Krishna, do we need to have any other qualifications? So if that question is asked, then Srila Rupa Goswami himself will say that the only thing needed is intense desire, because that intense desire will itself lead to that stage of bhajan which will wash away all sinful reactions. So we don't need to separately endeavor for washing away sinful reactions, because that separate endeavor is an endeavor besides bhakti. Bhakti is our only endeavor, and bhakti specifically intense eagerness for Bhagavan. That intense eagerness, that will itself cleanse us of all the sinful reactions. So it's not that Bilva Mangal Thakur was first, doing many Vedic activities to purify himself, and then after that he started hankering for Krishna. As soon as he was instructed by Chintamani, he went to Vrindavan, and after he poked his eyes out, he was immediately very eager. When he reached Vrindavan, he was very eager to have a darshan of Krishna. So he did not execute any separate activities besides having eagerness. But yes, when we are in a society of devotees, we have to execute some rules and regulations because the Guru has ordered us to do so, and because we want to maintain, we want to maintain this society of devotees very nicely. So we should set a good example by following all the rules and regulations nicely, because the Guru has ordered us to do so. So that is also a part of our bhajan. But ultimately, our acceptance of Krishna's acceptance of us is not dependent on that. It is only dependent on how much eagerness we have. That is the answer to your query.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I had follow-up. So Dainya that is mentioned in the Utkantitam I know it at stage is that Dainya due to the material conditioning they see, which is preventing them from seeing Krishna? Is that the Dainya?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
okay.
that is because of their previous activities, unmentionable activities which they may have performed, or that is because of them feeling lowly about themselves, that I did not execute bhajan for so many days, so many years in my life. There are many factors which contribute to dainya.
Regret of wasting the time. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
No, Prabhuji, 1 second. We have Tarni Radhika Mataji, the next person. After Tarni Radha Mataji, we'll go in a sequence.
Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare
much
Krishna.
for a very brilliant class, and especially your recent class on Govardhan, the song from Srila Rupa Goswami was like very brilliant. Thank you so much for that. My question today is like when you said that we need to accept Krishna without any conditions, how does this statement align with the statement that Srila Prabhupada says that relationship is always two ways with the Lord? There is personal reciprocation. So when we say that without any condition, does that translate to like an impersonal approach? Usually my doubt always is like the 8th verse of Shikshashtakam, which says that however you treat me, Krishna, I'm yours, because you are my whole and soul, you are my dependent Lord. And at the same time, I feel like where is that personal reciprocation? That gets kind of lost when you say that without any conditions, I accept. So that's...
So the thing is, in first acceptance, there should be no conditions. When Krishna is accepting us for the first time, there should be no conditions. Because if Krishna accepts us on the basis of some conditions, then that relationship will always be conditional. It's like two people getting married. If two people get married because one of them thinks that the other is very rich, then that marriage is, or that relationship is based on some precondition. But if two people get married because both of them had love for each other and no other conditions were there, then that is an unconditional relationship. So nature of bhakti is that the acceptance by Krishna is unconditional. Like Krishna, when he accepts somebody, is unconditionally accepts somebody. And once he accepts somebody, even if they make a mistake, still Krishna will not reject them at any point of time. So after Krishna has accepted us, then in the relationship there are many dynamic, reciprocations. But in the first acceptance, there has to be no condition, so that the relationship is based on the foundation of unconditional love. Therefore, in the first acceptance, initial acceptance, no conditions are expected. And therefore, that is the best type of acceptance by Krishna, wherein it is based on absolutely no condition. And after the acceptance is done, then the devotee is in association of Krishna. Then the relationship has many give and takes, reciprocations, etc. It's not an impersonal relationship. It's obviously has its full spectrum of rasa. But in the initial acceptance, there are supposed to be no conditions, and that is what an ideal relationship is supposed to be. No conditions at all. That is what it is. So I hope.
Yeah, one follow-up, Ramati. You were saying from Krishna's end, there is no conditions. That part we can understand because he's the supreme being. But from our end, right? How can we understand?
We are beggars anyway. So how can we put any conditions? It's not that I will accept you, Krishna, only if you, do this or that. We are beggars anyway. So therefore I said from our end there are no conditions. From Krishna's end also there should be no conditions. That is the initial acceptance. That is the initial bond of acceptance. Then once that happens, then later then there is reciprocation, relationship in the spiritual world. Then the devotee who was das here in the spiritual world, they may end up becoming a sakha. They become a sakha, then they may put so many conditions in front of Krishna. Krishna, if you don't play with me today, I'll not talk to you. And that's in a perfected stage of existence. In the initial acceptance, there has to be no conditions. So that is the answer to your query.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very clearly.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
So next we have Simheshwar Prabhu. Simheshwar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all good
Yeah.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Nicely explained about the details and intricacies of this absence of Lord and the separation from the Lord. It was so clear. Thank you so much. My question is based on that you mentioned that we are here in this world as fall down, or we are here in this world since time immemorial, but it was not clear that as some devotees were mentioning about that we were not there with the Lord at any point of time, and somehow we are here in this world. But we can see that in the Bhagavad Gita 15:7, Mamayavamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanadana. Sanadana, that means eternal. All living entities are my eternal fragmental parts in this conditioned world. So since Jiva is eternal, and then Sanadana, that's that's a nature by itself, and how that, and also we understand that this material world is temporary. It's not that permanent here. It's a temporary nature for some point of time. Then where were these souls at the beginning, and where started the journey? Where started?
Yeah. Where were the souls at the beginning and how did they start their journey? This question is often asked because this, even by saying that the Jiva was never with Krishna, and it's not my statement that I am saying that the Jivas were never with Krishna. All the previous acharyas have indicated Anadita Bahirmukha. Jiva Goswami's clear words, Anadikal. Since time immemorial, the Jiva there was never a time. Basically, Anadi means there was never a time when the Jiva was Antarmukha, or his face his face was ever turned towards Krishna. There was never such a time. So where did the Jivas begin? So when it comes to that, actually even the Shastras, they keep quiet on this. And there is a special section in the Vedanta Sutra called as Atmadhikaran. In Atmadhikaran, there is a small discussion on what is the origin of the Jiva in the material world. Because actually the Jiva has no origin. But how did the Jiva originate here in the material world? And then Brahma Sutra, Vyasadeva also indicates this fact that Shastra is quiet about this. Shastra keeps quiet about how the Jiva came into the material world. Some acharyas definitely in our Sampradaya try to give an explanation that the origin of the Jiva is Brahma Jyoti. This is the origin of the Jiva. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives that explanation. And Srila Jiva Goswami also calls the Jivas as Tatastha Shakti. And he calls the Jivas Tatastha Shakti very clearly. He calls the Jivas as Tatastha Shakti, which means they are marginal potency. So their constitution is to be on the margin. That is what is the meaning of Tatastha Shakti. So the previous acharyas have indicated from our Sampradaya that the Jiva's journey began at the Tata, or at the border on which it was susceptible to be either accepted by Yogamaya or Mahamaya, but the Jiva's own choice was to turn away from Bhagavan, and therefore Mahamaya exerted its influence on the Jiva. That is the answer to your query.
Then also we understand, Prabhuji, that the time of at the Kalpa or Mahakalpa, all these living entities are going back into the body of Mahavishnu. And then the Kalpa begins, then it's actually coming out from the body of Mahavishnu.
Right.
And, how does it match with the explanation which you just gave?
When they are in the material world, Material world, Prakriti as a principle is eternal. Prakriti, material world is always, all the set of all material worlds is always eternal. But sometimes they are manifest, they are unmanifest. Sometimes Prakriti is active, sometimes she is inactive. When Prakriti is inactive, all the jivas are within Sushupti. They are in the state of deep sleep within the body of Mahavishnu. So when that happens, still they are within the body of Mahavishnu, who has lied down in a section which is considered to be the material world. So although the material world is not active at that point of time, in principle it is still the material world, because the jivas are in Sushupti. They are in a state of existence which is material. Sushupti itself is a material state of existence. It is not a spiritual state of existence. So the jivas are still in a material state of existence called as Sushupti, deep sleep within the body of Mahavishnu. This state of existence itself is material, even though the material worlds have not manifested themselves. That is the answer to your query.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Hariparsad Prabhu, there are a few more hands which are risen. So,
Sure.
do you think you have some more time, or?
Yeah, as long as you allow, I'm here, no problem.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much. So, Ashish Karuna Jagannath Prabhu, you had some question. Do you want to go for it?
Hare Krishna Babu, I forgot my questions right now. This is a high level discussion, very high level discussion. And thank you, Prabhu, giving that wonderful class. And this is a very high level. I think that I should not ask any question. I have question, but I should not ask. I can clarify from other senior devotee. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I mean, okay. So we have Sweta G Mataji. Mataji, it's your turn now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for this wonderful class, Prabhuji. I have a question regarding the state that we discussed, Utkanthitam, where I understood, I may not have understood properly, but whatever I understood based on that, it is the state in which is the absence of God, where someone who has not seen God even once in their life, is that state is Utkanthitam.
Yeah, and they are eager to see God.
And they are eager to see, right?
Yeah.
So they are not atheist, they are eager to see. So then we are in that state. Now, if someone has though we have not seen God, but there are some people who have realizations, right, Prabhu? Like they feel the presence of God around. Suppose they have a question in their mind and they get the answers to it, when they feel, or some way or the other, they feel that God, Lord is around them. They keep getting realizations. So what is that called? I mean, would that be part of Utkanthitam only?
No. Utkanthitam is a very specific bhakti rasa, which means the devotee clearly feels absence of God, clearly is hankering for Bhagavan. That is Utkantita. Now there are some people say, I've also seen many people who say, I feel God always around me, everywhere around me. So there are many people who say like that, but often it is their own mind which is telling them things and they are mistaking it as an indication from God. Because when one actually sees Bhagavan for the first time in their life, when they see their condition will be like Narad Muni's condition when he saw Bhagavan for the first time. The tears rolled down his eyes, he was crying in ecstasy, he had all the Ashta Satvika Vikars on his body. So that is a symptom of somebody who has seen Bhagavan. And if somebody says, oh, I feel Bhagavan everywhere, it basically means either that the material energy is either giving them some ideas, their own mind is giving them some ideas, and they are mistaking it for the presence of Bhagavan, because presence of Bhagavan is not such a cheap thing. Presence of Bhagavan means that one has to have, should be some effect of it. That effect should be long lasting and permanent effect, which is seen in the case of people who have seen Bhagavan for even one time in their lives. So that is the answer to your query.
So then, Prabhu, there is no such thing called realization?
Realization comes from Paramatma in the heart, but let's not mistake it for darshan of Bhagavan.
Okay. So realization is not related to this state. This state is called a tangible.
Yeah,
Tangible
darshan is tangible darshan through the spiritual eyes of the devotee. That is darshan. And realization within the heart that Brahma also has Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaya. Lord reveals all the Vedas through Brahma's heart. That's fine. We all get realizations from Paramatma, but that is completely separate from getting a darshan of Krishna. Get a darshan of Krishna, even Brahma has to go to the ocean of milk, and there he has to meditate, and sometimes he only hears the voice of Krishna. He doesn't even see Krishna. So Rupa Goswami says, Yadyapi samadhishu vidhirapi pashyati na tava nakhagram arichim. In that song, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Vande, Rupa Goswami says, even Brahma is not able to see a small, sparkling of the nails of your toe, O Lord, in his samadhi. But still, I am so proud. I desire to see you in your entire form. So this is Rupa Goswami's statement. So it's not very easy to get darshan. Somebody says, yeah, I feel Bhagwan's presence everywhere. It's very nice. We appreciate that. But let's not mistake it for getting a darshan of Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hari Parshad Prabhu, for enlightening this evening with such a nice topic, how to utilize for the best benefit of our situation, with multiple examples, multiple quotations from different shastras. Thank you, Prabhuji, for staying late and answering all the questions. Please, we request, please come back again and enlighten us. Give your time. I know you're very busy, but please join us. And I'll give it out to Madhupati Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Hari Prasad Prabhu. Hari, you're very in-depth for giving us this nice, wonderful association. I'd like to hear more and more from you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for kindly inviting me. I offer all the good wishes of the devotees and to the lotus feet of my Guru Maharaj. And if there were any mistakes, then kindly excuse me. Thank you, Prabhu.
That was wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhu ki jai.
We'll offer our obeisances. Pancha kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayasya Krishna Yubhyo Namo Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.